This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 2142, Power of Perspective, A Lesson from My Darkest Moment as a Mom, by Lynnette Sheppard with ericalane.co. Hello, everybody, and thanks so much for joining this Friday edition of ORD with me, your host and narrator, Greg Audino. I'm here with you every single day of the week, reading and offering commentary on articles that address different parts of relationship building. And today, we have another one for the parents out there, though I think you'll find that it really does pertain to all of us. So listen closely as we dive in now and start optimizing your life. Power of Perspective, A Lesson from My Darkest Moment as a Mom, by Lynnette Sheppard with ericalane.co. Sinking into the chair beside my 4-year-old son's hospital bed with a heavy sigh, I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders, and it threatened to crush me. It had been months since he started limping. Back then, I thought he may have fallen and twisted his ankle. He was, after all, only 4, and falling was a common occurrence during active play. But the limp remained for weeks, getting worse instead of better, and eventually leading us to the pediatrician's office. "Everything looks good," the X-ray tech told us after reviewing the images of his foot. "But follow up with an orthopedist just to be sure." Without a diagnosis, it took 6 weeks to get an appointment with the bone specialist. By then, my poor little guy refused to put any weight on his heel, and had started twisting his leg in an unnatural position to manage any walking at all. Taking one look at the X-ray, the orthopedist saw the problem when we finally sat across from him in his office. "What did your pediatrician tell you?" he asked. "He said the X-rays looked normal," I replied. "This is not normal," he said, pointing to a large black spot on the X-ray that nearly engulfed my son's calcaneus, or heel bone. Bone should be white on an X-ray, not black. My heart sank as a tsunami of fear swept over me. The short life of my sweet baby rushed through my mind, and I braced myself for the worst. "It looks like an aneurysmal bone cyst, which is a pocket of fluid that has collected inside his bone," the doctor said. "It's not life-threatening, but will require surgery to clean out the cyst and replace the resulting space with a bone graft." I relaxed a little as the words, "not life-threatening," soothed my anxious heart. The next few weeks were a blur of doctor's visits and preparation for surgery, which all went well. But 6 weeks after surgery, just a few days after this active preschooler was finally able to walk again, he developed an infection in his bone, which landed him back in the operating room. That was followed by a 5-day hospital stay, consults with a variety of other specialists, a PICC line for IV antibiotics at home, no walking for another 6 weeks, more complications, and another surgery, which led to several additional weeks of immobility. I sat helplessly next to his bed in the loneliness of a sterile hospital room, and my heart broke into 1,000 pieces. He was 4 years old, living in constant pain and not able to walk for weeks, which turned into 9 months, and I was powerless to make him well. At that moment, I lost my natural optimism. I could no longer see anything good about the mountain we were forced to climb. It was too steep, too emotionally draining, too much to ask from one little boy and his mama. As I was wallowing in self-pity, I got a call from a dear friend who told me about a mutual acquaintance whose 14-year-old son had just been diagnosed with a cancerous, inoperable brain tumor. His doctors had only given him a few months to live. My heart, already raw and tender, was instantly overwhelmed with grief for a boy and his family that I hardly knew. My struggle, which was undoubtedly real, felt considerably lighter when I stepped back to look at the big picture with different eyes. Eyes of gratitude, eyes of hope, eyes of faith, eyes that saw beyond my trials to the heartache of others, and arms that could help lift a portion of their burdens, despite the heaviness of my own. That is the power of perspective. It feels pain and acknowledges difficulty, but it sees beyond their towering shadows to the faint rays of light in the distance, rays that can reach into the darkness and touch a downtrodden soul, bringing a welcomed respite from the storms of life, if only for a moment. And sometimes, one magical moment is enough to buoy up a troubled mind and change a wounded heart. As Andy Andrews so eloquently said in his book, The Noticer, quote, "Most people think it takes a long time to change. It doesn't. Change is immediate, instantaneous. It may take a long time to decide to change, but change happens in a heartbeat." End quote. Perspective is where change is born. It comes as a result of experience, but we can also acquire a healthy dose of its life-altering elixir by observing and studying the lives of others and reflecting on how they might apply to our circumstances. The next time you're feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of life and find yourself lingering too long in the shadowlands of why me, try to gain some perspective by asking yourself the following questions and then earnestly seeking their answers. 6 questions to ask yourself when you need perspective. Number 1, what can I learn from this experience? How can it make me stronger? Number 2, has anything in my past prepared me for this? How can I draw on previous experience to give me additional strength? Number 3, do I know anybody who has walked this or a similar path ahead of me? Could they give me any advice? What can I learn from them? Number 4, where is my support system? Would counsel with trusted friends and family members help me see things in a different, helpful light? Number 5, where is the silver lining? What can I be grateful for amidst this trial? And number 6, what role does my faith play in helping me to overcome life's difficulties? How can it help me now? The road of life is lined with pitfalls, many of which are unexpected and unavoidable, but they need not break us. Often, gaining a little perspective is all that's necessary to turn our trials into vehicles for growth and positive, lasting change. You just listened to the post titled, Power of Perspective, A Lesson from My Darkest Moment as a Mom, by Lynnette Sheppard with ericaLane.co, and I'll be back with my commentary right after this. Picture a wardrobe upgrade with quality essentials at an unbeatable price. Quince has you covered with timeless pieces that never go out of style. You'll have them in your closet forever. Quince has all the must-haves, like Mongolian cashmere crewneck sweaters from $50, iconic 100% leather jackets, and versatile flow knit activewear. And all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. That's because by partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And most importantly, Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. And as for me, I love Quince's versatility too. They have great home items as well as clothes, and I've been really happy with the bedding that I bought from them. When you look at it and you feel the material, you can tell easily that it's of high quality. So indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/ORD for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/ORD to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/ORD. And a big thanks to Lynnette for this post. I absolutely love the way she ended it, and I hope you'll keep that list of questions on hand for whenever you're in need of a change of perspective. Those self-reflection questions encourage us to look to so many of the right places for guidance. Within ourselves, within our pasts, and within our network of trusted people. I couldn't recommend that list enough. But if I might add one item to it, I would encourage you to think of the most courageous person you can, even if that means you have to imagine one. Doing this basically forces you to ask yourself, if I or someone I know can't find a reason to believe in myself amidst this turmoil, who possibly could? What would the most optimistic person in the world, optimistic yet realistic, mind you, or in my imagination, say about this? And look, if you don't agree with whatever ideology you think that this person would have, that is okay. The main point here is to stretch your mind into a state of possibility, thinking outside your limitations, and then drawing back until the two meet in the middle. So, I'll leave you to it, everyone. Thanks a lot for showing up today and listening until the end. I hope you enjoyed this post, and if you did not take anything from it, honestly, I would recommend listening again, because especially at that end part, there is something for everyone. So best of luck, enjoy your day, and I'll see you over the weekend, where your optimal life awaits.